Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the Brainbuster podcast. In this one, we're going to be talking about a couple of interesting things to say the least. And right now, Bitcoin's sitting at $17,127 as of recording this video, December 9th. And yeah, things are looking to be recovering towards the end of 2023 for now. I think it's the best time to be dollar cost averaging. And this is just going to be a nice little podcast. I'm going to upload this to the main channel on YouTube as well. Usually this is exclusively for patrons, but this one I'm just gonna let everyone enjoy this one. So sit back, relax, whatever you're doing. If you're driving, eating, whatever, enjoy doing that. And I'll be doing some background noise for you. So, all right, I do want to talk about the MakerDAO situation because it's really interesting. So as you probably all know, the co-founder, Nikolai Mushegan, dies at 29 in Puerto Rico. Mushegan was an important figure in the crypto community, contributing to multiple projects, including MakerDAO, BitShares, and Balancer. So, yeah, this is a pretty interesting situation. So he was the co-founder of MakerDAO. As you all know, that's they have their own DAI stablecoin, and he was found dead in Puerto Rico last week. So this was back in November, I think. Yeah, back at the beginning of November. So Mushegan died due to drowning after being dragged by sea currents on the Condado beach in San Juan. The local newspaper El Nuevo Dia reported Mushegan had no vital signs by the time his body was rescued. So the interesting thing about this is that he was found in his full clothing with his wallet, documents, and everything. So it's really interesting how people go swimming with their jeans on, right? That sounds totally not weird. The Condado Beach is considered one of the world's most dangerous places for swimmers, reportedly taking the lives of at least 8 people in 2021. The unfortunate event was reported to local authorities on the morning of October 28th, so it was at the end of October, not the beginning of November. According to a police report, Mushegan was a resident of San Juan. The scene was reportedly investigated by the San Juan Homicide Division and a local prosecutor. Mushegan was an important figure in the cryptocurrency community, contributing to multiple industry projects, with some referring to him as a DAI architect. The 29-year-old crypto developer is known for his work with MakerDAO, Forks Rico, and Rye, as well as the proof-of-stake blockchain network BitShares. Mushegan is also a co-founder of the automated market maker Balancer. MakerDAO co-founder and CEO Rune Christensen took to Twitter on October 31st to say that Mushegan contributed important inputs to Maker's development and has done some crucial work since the early days of Ethereum. So really weird situation, and they don't talk about the details here, so I'm not sure if Cointelegraph didn't have any details at that time. That's why they didn't post. So the Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson, also reached out on Twitter and had a tweet saying that Nikolai was a good guy. But this is not the full story, obviously. So if you go, and you probably heard this as well, so going to Twitter, and this was his last tweet. So the CIA and Mossad are pedo elite and running some kind of a sex trafficking entrapment blackmail ring out of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. They're going to frame me with a laptop planted by my ex-girlfriend who was a spy. They will torture me to death. And then he had some tweet regarding the 3 possibilities that he would that he had, basically, or the 3 possible outcomes. And to say the least, I'm not surprised, right? Whether this is true or not. However, we probably, if you have any critical thinking whatsoever, then this will look at least somewhat suspicious, because usually people who have insider information and don't really want to play by the rules, this is what happens. And if you go down, and it's funny because you search up hashtag Nikolai Mushegan on Twitter, and not a lot of stuff comes out. So a lot of random stuff. There we go. So yeah, some stuff is coming out here, but still some random tweets coming out that have no connection to that. I guess they just use his name in the hashtags just to get him, just to get some attention. Regardless, so and here are some accidents that happened to a lot of crypto enthusiasts over the last year or so. So John McAfee died in a Spanish prison. Vyacheslav Taran, helicopter crash. Tian Colander died in his sleep. Michigan drowned. And how do you spell that? Mircea Popescu died in exactly the same manner and same spot as Nikolai. And let's get some digging. So there's a thread. We're going to go through that thread in just a second. There was also one other thing that I wanted to show. I don't think we're going to get that. A lot of videos basically covering this, obviously. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show, but it's basically the same thing. So let's go through the thread and see what what's going on here. Obviously, none of this means it's true or whatever, but you take it as you will. But let's open up this thread. So John McAfee, British American businessman. I got a tattoo today just in case if I suicide myself. I didn't. I was whacked. Check my right arm. Found hanging in Spanish prison. Okay. And let's read some of the comments. Bitcoin adopter father talks. Okay, yeah, that's all right. Next up, we have Mircea Popescu, died in 2021. Bitcoin adopter, father of Bitcoin toxicity, part of the SEC investigation, drowned off the coast of Costa Rica. That's basically what happened with Nikolai. From complications related to Cohen's disease on his honeymoon. Did a documentary about him on Netflix. Matthew Mellon died in 2018. Crypto billionaire flew to Cancun, Mexico for rehab, but never made it to the facility. A lot of these examples coming up, guys. A lot of these. So Tatiana Colander, or no, that's not Tatiana. That's Tian. Oh my god, that's terrible. Colander died in 2022. The co-founder of Amber Group, found dead in her sleep, and obviously the most recent incident with Michigan. Then we have Vyacheslav Taran, who died in 2022. Russian crypto businessman passed away in a helicopter crash. Happened in good weather, in good conditions, while another passenger decided not to fly last minute. This is a very interesting situation because there are a lot of these situations where people cancel their flights before, the last day before it happens, and stuff goes down. That's really, really interesting. And the fact that I don't know if you still have his Twitter profile. Let's see if we can get Michigan's Twitter profile. I'm not sure what his name was. Here it says delete shitcoin. Maybe that's still the name. Let's try to look it up. There we go. Yeah, that's him. This is his page. Let's go to the comments and see what people are saying. So this guy says, man, at some point the deniers will realize that there is just as much chance of it being right than there is it being a conspiracy. There is a lot of evidence of these things, yet you all dismiss it. So yeah, I would say using the term conspiracy theory is very naive and uneducated, because for what it is, a conspiracy theory is something that you drag by the ears and then come up with things that didn't happen and presume things. This is not presuming anything. This is based off of facts and based off of what happened and how many times it has happened before. So that's why we're coming to these conclusions. And obviously, I assume anyone who is serious about crypto and serious about making money and becoming financially free has some sort of a critical thinking developed. And I think if you have that, well, you're going to start asking some questions. So, and here is his tweet about the 3 possible futures. So, suicided by CIA brain damage, slave asset, and worst nightmare of people who effed with me until now. I'm sure these are the only options. So yeah, that's And pretty much it happened the same day he tweeted all these things. And yeah, it's weird, really, really weird. And if you pay attention and you look through these accidents, then you start understanding that these are not coincidences, because mathematically speaking, it is possible all of this could have happened. But outside even the crypto world, there are a lot of people coming up with smart inventions. For example, if you look at Dmitry Petronov, he came up with the what was it called? Let me look it up. He had some sort of a battery that powered his house for 14 hours that used zero energy. And coincidentally, he went out to get some. He went out to a bakery to get some pastries, and he disappeared. So yeah, the plasma battery inventor. Yeah, and all of these things happen every single year if you look through history, and it's, yeah, I'm just pointing it out, right? I'm not here to say anything or speculate or do whatever. I'm just showing you what has happened, and the same things are happening in the crypto space. So obviously, a lot of these things would have been helpful for humanity, because having this zero energy battery, these plasma batteries that would save us a lot of energy, would have been beneficial, obviously. And I think expecting the government to really care about the environment, and they're all about the green and green this, green that, it's all bullcrap. Here we go. So another plasma battery inventor murdered in Moscow. The body of missing plasma battery inventor Dmitry Petronov was removed from the Volga River, but it was missing his hands and teeth. Was this a mob or government hit? Read the interview with his sister and you will be shocked. Dmitry has been missing since February of 2010. He now makes the 5th nuclear battery inventor killed in the last 10 years. Another American inventor is still missing for over 9 months. Get details on all 6 inventors here. So, as you can see, this is a very, very common thing. So, if you come up with something that is going to potentially make the government less money, they are going to get rid of you, because why would they want to make less money, right? It's not like they care about the people or the environment. And I just brought up this example just to show you that it does happen outside the crypto world as well. So this is not something happening specifically in the crypto sphere. And in the crypto sphere, decentralization is obviously the main point and the main reason why Bitcoin was created initially. And anything that removes centralized authority from a project or from anything really, or even a transaction, that hurts the government, because people are going to start walking away from their banks and they're going to start using these decentralized applications. And obviously the government doesn't like that. So we went through a couple of tweets. We went through his profile and all this. It really is interesting. It really is interesting. And let's see if we have anything here. So according to San Juan police, records obtained by Decrypt investigators have thus far found no indication of foul play in Michigan's death. Police found no signs of violence during a preliminary examination of Michigan's body, though he did suffer a small laceration to his skull. Well, I guess we can just ignore that part, right? A small laceration, that's not that important. And the fact that he had his clothes on with his wallet and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna ignore that, and we're gonna ignore the fact that it happened to the exact same, to another developer, right? A couple of years back. So yeah, this is what happens. And one other thing I want to talk about is the CBDCs. So as you all know, I'm from Ukraine, and Ukraine is actually working on a CBDC as well. So it's not just the US, it's not just China, it's not just somewhere in Africa, because if you didn't know, people are now limited to withdrawing, I think, $200 per week in Africa to incentivize them using the CBDCs, right? This is what they're doing. And obviously, the government's going to have full control of your funds if you have, if they're going to be implementing CBDCs, because they can turn your funds off and on with a switch. If they don't like you, you did something that, potentially is going to harm the government, there you go. Money gone, just like that. So, and this is dangerous. This is really dangerous. And I don't like my government whatsoever. They're very corrupt, and obviously I do love my people, and I know that Russia is bound to lose the war. But yeah, that doesn't go to the government. The government is planning to release a CBDC. So the National Bank of Ukraine has released an update to the country's plans to launch a central bank digital currency amid its ongoing war with Russia. Experts from the press release revealed that the central bank is now considering implementing features for the e-hryvnia, which is our currency, that will allow retail users to use it to trade cryptocurrency. This will be in addition to other use cases, including making retail payments, cross-border transactions the e-hryvnia will have. And so he added that Ukraine is banking on the CBDC becoming one of the key elements of qualitative infrastructure development for the virtual assets market in Ukraine that will help the country strengthen its monetary sovereignty as well as maintain price and financial stability. The press release noted that the NBU has already shared its updated plans around the CBDC with banks, non-banking financial institutions, and representatives of the crypto market. Ukraine's plans to build its CBDC on the Stellar blockchain. So for those of you who don't know, Stellar works with multiple countries, or is working with multiple countries, to build a CBDC for them. While it is introducing new use cases for digital cash, Ukraine has not altered its commitment to work with the Stellar blockchain. Ukraine first started working with Stellar last year after its parliament adopted new legislation giving the NBU, the National Bank of Ukraine, the go-ahead to develop a CBDC. And in March, the CEO of Stellar revealed that despite the war, Ukraine is still working with the payments-focused blockchain to develop its CBDC, although development would not be as fast-paced as before due to the conflict, which is obvious. She also added that at the time, the Ukraine's president wanted to move to cashless society. Over the course of this year, while noting that Ukraine's focus is not on Stellar's XLM token, but on promoting the e-hryvnia. Ukraine had previously launched a pilot test for the CBDC in partnership with a bank on Stellar. Basically, they had a little test. Meanwhile, Ukraine is not the only one dabbling with CBDCs. With Stellar, as we just discussed, the network is also doing work on CBDC for Brazil, Kazakhstan, right? And two very corrupt countries, I think goes without saying, right? Brazil and Kazakhstan, very corrupt countries. So yeah, this is the way they're going to be trying to assert even more control and dominance over the populace. And we have to be ready. We have to be ready. We have to be smart about this. We have to know where our money is going to be going. We have to have a financial plan laid out in front of us for the next 2 years, because if you want to become financially free, you want to be smart and you want to know how money works. You want to know what's going to be happening and how is the government going to be controlling your money. So I think all these things are very important to look at. And let me know what you think about this. Let me know about the Nikolai case that we talked about today. Let me know what you think. Is it weird or is it just normal and you think it's, we don't need to look into it? Let me know what you think about the CBDCs, because that's really interesting. Let me know if you heard about the plasma battery inventor murdered in Moscow. As you can see, there were multiple cases like this over the last 10 years. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.